Side Senate. This is going to be Star Battle X 2016 Open Tournament, Round 2, Game 2. This is InsaneLogic versus Mercenary. And so you can even see on the screen right here, InsaneLogic was the winner of the last tournament. So this is mostly the same team. What is different from them is they have picked up 3 new players, one of which will be playing in this game, so they have more players kind of as subs at the moment. So they added Barry Halls, Tassadar, and Hate Me Now, I believe. Yes, and so in this game, Barry Halls will be playing, who I don't think played with them in the last tournament. So let's go ahead and get things going here. In the bottom left, we have InsaneLogic. Oh, yeah, excitement. We have Barry Halls going a feedback Arbiter, Loco going range 5 rocket, Sarah going Spore, Shorty going Spore, double Guardian here. I don't think that's... I'll explain why in a minute. Wolf Eyes going, I'm guessing shield recharge, and then 2 shield Colossus, very low speed, and OG Kush going range rocket. From the Mercenaries, we have Angelo going Plague in the side lane Overlord. Interesting. Lokuaz going Imp. Alec the Battlecruiser going range missile. Osage, I'm gonna try. Going 4-3 Colossus, and Butt Hairs going range rocket. We have the Butt Hairs versus the Barry Halls. That's what this game has come down to, guys. And then finally in the side lane, Star Killer going 5 interceptors. So things to note here is that InsaneLogic is going this double Guardian build right now. Guardians have gotten a lot of changes, and they have been significantly buffed. Now, they were a little bit over buffed at first, so that the Scourges were basically impossible to contain, and so that was changed. And then they also had a huge amount of regeneration on Darkswarm, their protective ability, and that was reduced slightly. So there's been a couple of recent patches, but the Guardian is still much stronger than it used to be, which is why I think that in this game versus Mercenary, InsaneLogic ended up going that route. Now, from the Mercenaries, sorry, well, still early for me. Still, need to get something to drink here in a minute. The Mercenaries are the freelancer group. So, this is, in short, the tournament-winning team from the previous tournament versus a group of 6 guys who had not played before until today. Just so that we're perfectly clear on what's going on in this game. So when we're looking at the game and we're saying InsaneLogic getting a 400 farm lead and an early contain, this is pretty much what I was expecting to see from this game. And in fact, I would even probably go so far as to say that if InsaneLogic does not go 6-0 this game, that's going to be an upset. If the Mercenaries get a kill, that will be a triumph for them, comparably speaking, in my mind, in terms of my expectations. I would be shocked if Mercenary managed to win this game. Which is not to say they are not a group of quality players. These are all very strong players. These are all tournament level players. That's why they're in this tournament. But they have not really had the chance to coordinate before today, which will mean that they are in a position of serious disadvantage against what is arguably the strongest Star Battle team right now. Now, this is a tournament team, right? So, what this means is that they don't really all have InsaneLogic clan tags when you see them in public games or in in-house matches. First of all, because a lot of them are European players who are coming from the European server, and so clan tags are already kind of messed up. The other being that they're kind of a hybrid of Contra and a couple of other clans that have either disbanded or have been kind of reformed under the InsaneLogic banner. So this is kind of like almost a super team, except that it's not. It's that's the way all teams work, really. I mean, in a game where tournament play has lasted as long as Star Battle has, there's going to be a lot of players that are coming back from other teams, and that's just the way it works out. Blue team is finally managing to get a little bit of a pushback here. Now, they are not going to be able to recover their farm even if they get a brief contain here. They would need a substantial and long contain to manage to get back out of the hole they're in. They're down 500 farm right now, but so long as they push out now, kill these siege creeps. Ooh, Colossus, you don't want to. You are not the one that's supposed to run from the siege creeps. You're supposed to be the one that kills the siege creeps. But well, he doesn't have hardened shield yet, so I guess that makes sense. But yeah, they should be able to get a little bit out of the hole. But what they have to do is they have to be very careful here, because what they want to do is get maybe 200 farm and then back immediately, because InsaneLogic is going to be coming out with 1300 farm right now. They are going to be coming out with a speed advantage and a damage advantage. The mercenaries cannot stay here for basically any amount of time at all. They need to back well before InsaneLogic is coming out, especially since InsaneLogic was not really going back with a lot of hull damage. Their hope is to go back, spend the money that they just got upgrading, so that they can come back and have a little bit of a better time trying to fight back from closer to their own base. But if they're fighting from right next to InsaneLogic's red team base, they are going to be in a very, very rough position. I mean, they're going to be in a rough position anyway, because they're still down 500 farm. They are basically down a third. They have 2/3 of InsaneLogic's farm right now. They are down 500 when the margin of farm is 1500. We have Starkiller coming out with Tempests, Alec with Paz, Lokuaz with Imp, Asajj going 8-3, Butt Hairs, really just more rockets, one armor. I guess he just had a few minerals floating. Angelo just getting up his Mutalisks. At 9 minutes, he has 7 Mutalisks. I find this to... I feel like this is a curious decision to get 7 Mutalisks and 2 armor and 1 bio discharge at 325 energy. Let's go ahead and take a minute and just look at what InsaneLogic went. So we have Loco with Afterburner, Quick Reload, 5 rockets, and then just some other sustainability and farming ups. Barry hauls their Arbiter with Chrono Boost and Feedback, 450 energy, no farming ups. Shorty with that Sustain of Dark Swarm, Scourge, and Adrenal Overlord. So that's 14 Scourges on him. Sarah with 14 Scourges as well, and Parasite. No Dark Swarm or Adrenal Overlord. Sorry. Wolf Eyes, their Colossus, going Recharge Shield with 6 shields, so big, strong, meaty tankiness. And then OG Kush with Ion Cannon Afterburners. So with the double Scourge, they can sit back well out of the way of almost anything that can deal damage, and just maintain practically an infinite contain while actually threatening. And will they get him? Angelo at 35 life, 25, 20, and he manages to just barely get back to the base in time. The Scourges with the Acid Spore damage is so strong that if the Overlord comes out and wants to plague just a little bit, it can be incredible. Oh wait, Windu's in this game. Why am I not with Windu?
Channel switched.
Windu, I completely blanked out. I didn't even realize you were in this game with me.
I am.
Alright, so is Guardian overpowered? Now, Guardian has had a really big set of buffs. That is certainly the case. Is it the case that Guardian is now overpowered? I think some would probably agree with you.
Well, I think it's really obvious that it's at the very least imbalanced. all the winning comps have double Guardian comps. And it's just devastating. It's very hard to deal with.
Yeah, because of the sustain from the cloud and the scourges, or
Scourges and the spores and the broods. I mean, just so much.
yeah.
The only real answer is to have at least a carrier and 2 guardians to counter back at it.
And then some sort of support. I mean, what I noticed right here was I don't agree with Angelo's build, and I think that one of the reasons the Guardian is seeming so strong here is because he went this 7 Mutalisk. He's at 18 range on his Mutalisks, but he could have another range, so he has to get his plagues off. He has to commit one range deeper than I think he really wants to be committing right here. So I think it's certainly the case that Guardian is very strong right now, but there's probably also been some pretty significant misplays from the Mercenaries as well, which is to be expected. I mean, this is the first time they've played together, so really, that they have managed to last a solid 15 minutes without losing any ships is a testament to the quality of their supports.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is a good group of players that, are playing together basically for the first time as a team. And they are not being completely shut out. Oh, wow. The Overlord tanks it for the Colossus. I love that. I love that the support just ate a fusion to save the tank. That it's just very nice. But yeah, the Warp Prison's gonna go down. So this is, for InsaneLogic, this is kind of a slowish win. Like they could have.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're up 1,300 farm here, and so they've just been kind of casually dominating. But they haven't been. They could be up 1 or 2 kills right now as well, right? The blue team has managed to keep everyone on their team alive, even though they're in this massive farm hole with a carrier, which means that the farm hole is even deeper than it could or should be.
I think they're just they're playing it safe. They don't want to make any dumb mistakes here.
Yeah, and at this point, the constant dark swarms. It's like InsaneLogic is not running, a Raven, no defensive matrix, no PDD, but they don't really need it. And Barry does not have force field, anything like that. But it's still kind of like Butt Harris's frigate and Alex missiles are not really doing too much just because of the constant dark swarm. And so that's the regeneration on Swarm was nerfed once already, but I'm thinking it could probably be nerfed again because Dark Swarm was already kind of a strong ability. I mean, it wasn't the best. Like now it's absolutely, you would be silly not to get it fairly early, but
I'd open with it now.
yeah, it's just so strong. But yes, now the prolonged contain and the massive farm lead is, I mean, they might even, now in terms of points, doesn't ISL, they get more if they get a infestation right before the game ends, right? So do you think that's maybe one reason that, is it possible that they're intentionally not killing some of the enemy team ships just so that
Could
they
be.
can get double infest? Because I don't think either one of them has picked up infest yet.
That very well could be the case.
Like I'm wondering if they're going for the cheekiest, sassiest win they can, or whether they're just thinking, okay, well, we're just gonna get all the money. We're gonna each of us have 2,000 minerals when we go back. Why does Loco have no money right now? And then we will come back and their entire team will just melt. Or, I mean, the base is actually already half dead.
User joined your channel.
Alex just crumbled, so that's one of their Terran ships down. Oh, the Raven's about to go down. Yep.
User was moved to your channel.
And nope, doesn't look like they're going for uber cheeky sassy infestation. They're just going for a casual control-based win with hilarious amounts of damage. Now, since the base died first, I guess every ship did die. But if the base had died first and the two ships there hadn't died immediately, would they have not gotten as many points for not getting as many kills? How do the rules work exactly?
I'm not 100% sure, but I don't believe I would count the two ships after the base. Once the game is over, that's where you get your points.
So actually, they should have committed a little deeper and killed if that is the way the points work. Not that it's necessarily going to matter, since you know, InsaneLogic's, you know, their win-loss won't be determined based on this game, probably. Anyway, thanks for commenting. I'm gonna stop the stream. Alright, hello everyone, this is Crazy, aka Why Must I Sign In, and this is Game 3 of the 2016 Open Tournament. In the bottom left, we have Darkened Insight, and in the top right, we have the Ewoks. This is Darkened Insight versus Ewoks. So, from Darkened Insight, we have Singularity going Double Guardian with Singularity on a ranged, brutling opening. We have Iceman with Imp Shockwave. We have Black Magic opening Plague. Star Battle opening range rocket on a frigate. Xerxes going range Spore. And on the right side lane, Tech Nasal going explosive charge. From the Ewoks, we have Monstar going Dreadnought with explosive charge in the side lane against Singularity's Guardian. We have in the mid, Thunder going 2 Needles and 2 Spore with 10 total Spore range. Kenneth going 2 Rocket, 9 range. Rammstein going Imp. Unknown Jedi with 4-3 Colossus. And Greater Ninja with 5 Ents. I'm a little confused on why the mid broke up the way it did here from the Ewoks. It seems to have not been particularly great for them. The big thing to notice here is it's a double Guardian composition versus a single Guardian composition. And so they do have a Colossus instead of a Guardian, I think is one of the main differences here. And that it is, in the mid, it's a Raven Guard frigate versus, and then the other change being Overlord versus Colossus. And so actually, the Overlord has prevailed against the Colossus in this opening engagement. Which means that it's now going to be up to the Ewoks to come back and deal some damage to push back Darkened Insight and avoid them allowing their Contain to grow. Thunder, as you can see, coming back out with Dark Swarm. Unknown Jedi still on 4-3, actually. I think he probably picked up his passive. Kenneth up to 3 rockets, still on 9 range. Ninja still on 5 ints. He actually did not spend money on that back. And now the Darkened Insight red team is going back with money to get their upgrades. Tech is going back with 450, Star with 450, Black Magic with 300, Xerxes with 450, Singularity with about 450, and Iceman with 375. So basically everyone's going back between 350 to 450 minerals. Not a good, or I'm sorry, not a bad first outing. Good chance for them to develop and gain a more solidified advantage against Ewoks. Here we see these Scourges coming out from Xerxes with Adrenal Overlord, planning to be casting those Scourges all the time. Singularity stalling a little bit as he comes out with Scourge Adrenal Overload as well. All the Scourges, all the time. That's what Darkened Insight is coming out with in this game. Seems like the general meta is guard heavy at the moment, allowing lots of good solid aggression from both teams. Thunder favoring the sustain a little bit more in this early game than the Scourges. And we're
User joined
seeing
your
that
channel.
the threat is quite high from continued Scourge spam. How's it going, Poodle? Are you a spec in this game, or are you just watching the stream?
Well, actually, I cannot access the stream, so that's why I was hoping you can guide me.
Oh, are you lacking the link, or is the stream not working for you? It seems like it's working for most people. Here's the link if you are if you were needing that. Right now, I'm watching Darkened Insight versus the Ewoks. The black sheep of the black magic versus the establishment developer team of Greater Ninja's Ewoks. Black Magic has picked up Tech Nasal, who was briefly going to... I was trying to get a low Latin tournament group started with, but I was insufficiently aggressive in recruitment, I suppose. So I'm not surprised or disappointed that he has joined Darkened Insight for this tournament. Is the stream working for you, Poodle?
Yeah, it is. Thank you very much for the link.
Absolutely. Just a continued contain here. The lead of Darkened Insight is only about 400, though. So even though this contain looked very strong, it is not yet, I would say, a game winning guaranteed lead. This is just a good advantage, a good place for them to be. Not necessarily an auto win yet, though. There is still enough time for Ewoks to come out. I'm not sure they're going to be able to equalize the farm right now, but they can maybe get it to within 1,400 to 1,300. I think that's what they should be looking for right now. Then getting back and coming out strong at that point. Unknown Jedi with the Lance to try to contain the Scourges. The Scourges did have, for a little while, Schloss had brought the Scourges up to 250 HP. Now they are back down to the point where they can be killed with Lance. The 250 HP was just a little bit too much. Greater Ninja floating 400 minerals. He did pick up Vortex and is up to 6 interceptors, so with the Vortex he will hopefully be able to avoid Darkened Insight diving and killing anyone on his team or himself. Kenneth has Fusion Torp, but he's not in a position right now to be able to use it to peel off these perpetual Scourges from Thunder. Oh, and there's the Warp Trick that was coming in, but Greater Ninjas manages to drop the Vortex and avoid letting his team get beat up. Here comes the Fusion Torp, and it's good on Black Magic. This is just a sassy Torp, not necessarily thinking they're going to be able to go for a kill right here, based on the positioning. But that will keep the Overlord and the Dreadnought both in a low HP situation, so that there's a little bit more threat when they come out later on. Let's see, what do we have? I'm coming out with Monstar is up to Protective Field, Repair Bots, 3 armor, 2 gats, 0.71 speed. Unknown Jedi has picked up Hardened Shield on top of his lance. Rammstein still pretty much purely on Imp, up to 425 energy, and I'm guessing he has gotten his other upgrades as well. And probably actually here, let's just see the upgrades for a moment. We have Rammstein. There we go. Yes, radar. I don't know, that's sensors. He does not have radar, is that right? That's interesting. And he also doesn't have his Imp upgrade. I think he must be feeling a little bit underfarmed here. Yes, only 128 score. Rammstein is almost certainly feeling underfarmed in this situation, so where you start to really feel the farm disadvantage is these real quality of life upgrades, like the Raven getting radar, the Raven getting his Imp upgrade. But, or even having Protective Field. I mean, he's up against 2 Guardians, both of which have Scourge spam, and he still doesn't have Defensive Matrix. that is not the situation you want to be in as a Raven. You feel like, I have this imp, and I can't even get in range of the enemy team to use the imp because I'm eating so many Scourges all the time. Greater Ninja coming in, trying to get his ints out to clean up the siege creep a little bit. But so far, Dark and Inside is managing to maintain their now going up to 500 farm lead. And where I think that's being felt the most is in the mid, where the threat of the perpetual Scourge spam is making life very frustrating for particularly Rammstein. I don't think the advantage is enough right now that Dark and Inside is going to manage to threaten one of the two towers here, but they are just going to continue to accelerate their farm advantage so that when they go back next, I think at that point they're really going to start thinking about how they want to make a kill. They were clearly already thinking about that with that warp trick, but even more so now. You know, are they going to have the speed and the Scourge ups to be able to come out and just really run someone down? When you're going back with a 600 farm lead, that's something you really start to think about. Can we actually outspeed them and burst DPS someone down before they can really save them? And I mean, I'm not sure if they know this, but they have to be thinking, you know, I haven't seen a lot of Matrixes yet. They might not be thinking that Rammstein does not have Matrix. That would probably be surprising for them as a Guardian at that point, at 15 minutes into the game. But it's something they definitely have to be thinking that, well, even if he has Matrix, it can't be fully upgraded yet. He doesn't have the farm for that. So even if he gets off one Matrix, we're still going to be landing at least half of our Scourges. So our Scourges are still good. So as you can see, Singularity is starting Broods a little bit, but Xerxes is still all Scourges all the time. Right now it's actually Unknown Jedi with the Lance that's dealing with, really, most of the Scourge control is coming just from the Colossus right now. That's a defensive Torp right there, trying to peel off the team and keep the Colossus healthy on this back. Now, since Ninja does have Vortex, they might have thought about doing another Vortex Torp there, but if Kenneth really did think that Unknown Jedi was in trouble, then it's not surprising or a bad call to do a defensive Torp like that. Thunder taking a lot of Scourge damage as he goes back into base here. And so now, yeah, it's still a 600 farm lead. That last out did not manage to equalize the farm much for the Ewoks. But they still have their carrier. They still have Vortex Torp. They still have all their ships. And the longer this game goes, the more options Greater Ninja will have to snipe someone either with ints or with scouts. He's not going either at the moment. Right now he's actually focused on Tempests, which are up to level 7. Tempests, of course, very popular in these strong matchups. Not that he's necessarily expecting Iceman to have PDD, but he certainly is expecting Iceman to have Matrix at this point. And so Matrix also makes it very difficult to snipe the ships that he wants to snipe. Now, oh, that Vortex doesn't quite catch the ships that... Oh, a guard ends up going into the Vortex a solid, what, 5 seconds after it starts? I don't know if the frigate is ready for that, though. Yeah, his Torp isn't even up. That was a defensive Vortex. But yeah, if he had gone into that and Kenneth had ended up dropping his Torp, that would have been pretty funny. But something I would be thinking about here if I was playing carrier, which again I'm not the person to be taking carrier advice from, but you know, as a sort of middling carrier player, what I would be thinking here is, okay, they have the one Raven, so the Raven can protect anyone else, but as a carrier, the first ship I want to kill is that Raven. So I would actually be thinking, is Interceptor Scout the way to go here? You know, if you can dump that, at least force the Raven... Whoa! Kenneth goes down very abruptly, and that's what happens when you have, that was not Star Battle's Torp. I think what happened is Kenneth might have torped Tech, and Tech ate it and splash killed him. That or Scourges. I was looking a little bit to the left, so I didn't quite see that. I was not expecting Kenneth to be torping right then, since there wasn't really, I'm looking at the Dark and Inside team, and I'm not seeing anyone I would torp as frigate, other than just to harass them. And so I think that's what must have happened, is that Kenneth overextended a little bit. At this point, the Ewoks are now down a ship. Now down just about, 1,700 farm? I mean, it's important to note that Dark and Insight has not spent a considerable sum of minerals right now, so, if Ewoks can make a big play, like, literally right now, this is the time to do it, right? If Rammstein had Blackout or something, or, if Ninja had, Scouts or something, maybe they could, pick off Iceman. That would be the big hope, but thing is, with Tempests and with 16 Scourge and Thunder, I think they don't have the speed, though, is the issue. They don't have a way to isolate or stall other than Greater Ninja's Vortex. And so they're not going to be able to catch someone from Dark and Insight here, which, as soon as Dark and Insight gets back and spins, it's 1,000 minerals a ship, really. It's Singularity going back with 1,800 minerals. Their lowest farm ship is Iceman. He's going back with 700 as a Raven. So as soon as they go back and spin these minerals, it's going to become increasingly difficult for Ewoks to really do anything here. Ninja is still only just above one shot. He's still at 8 interceptors. I'm sorry. He's still fine on interceptors, but they are at this point really feeling the farm disadvantage. And this is not the situation you generally ever want to be in, which is down a ship and down 1,500 farm. They don't get hit by the Torp, the SAS Torp there. But the Torp is not what is the big concern. The concern is, okay, we have Singularity coming out. Kind of greedy 13 needles. I guess he's thinking he needs to do something to contain the carrier. But 18 Scourges, level 6 Broodling Strike. No Scourges yet from Singularity, but the level 18 Scourges is just ridiculous. We have Xerxes with 14 Scourges, 10 Spines, and both of them have Corrosive Acid and Dark Swarm. They are pretty much fully developed Guardians, all except the Brutes. Star Battle, not quite at 10 shields, but with 10 rockets, Torp, Afterburner, and Ripwave. Tech here with his Protective Field, Explosive Charge, Bombardment, and Repair Bots. And then Iceman, Iceman has his Blackout. And so this is the point where the first tower is going to go down, and there's just not a ton the Ewoks can do to protect it here. They're going to drop the Vortex, and so the issue here is that Kenneth, the ship that died was their fusion. And so even though the Vortex is dropped, they can drop the Tempests, but it's Ninja is the one who is taking the most damage here, and oh my goodness, is he gonna... Ninja goes down. Even with 2 of the ships isolated with the Vortex, the difference in farm and money is just so significant that the carrier wasn't able to stay there, and no one was able to protect him or peel him off. Rammstein did have a defensive matrix, but it has a 20-second cooldown, right? It's you can't maintain it indefinitely. And so in that window, the incredible damage output of these Guardians managed to drop Ninja, which means that he was their highest farm ship. This game is now a 4,600 farm game to a 1,500 farm game. This game is all but over now. Now again, Singularity and Xerxes have not picked up Infestation. There are 2 Terran ships left. They could go for the Uber Sasser, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're just going to, at this point, kill everything fairly quickly. Don't want to get too greedy, perhaps. Here we go. Here is this going to be? I mean, the scourges are all over the place. Is this the point where they start going deep? No. It looks like they're not going too aggressive. They're just gonna sit back and casually just spam scourges into the enemy team. And again, everyone once again has over 1,000 farms. Singularity again at 1,800 farms. At this point, Black Magic is a little bit low at 550. When 550 is low, that's when your team is being well farmed. But yeah, at this point, what do you do as the blue team? They have 2 tanks. You know, is it safe for him to even go siege mode? Would that do anything here? I'm trying to think. Could he even safely siege mode? Rammstein has Imp and Matrix, but I'm not sure that would be enough. Certainly, he has to start thinking, okay, if we're not just going to immediately die, if we're going to stall here for any amount of time at all, I basically have to have siege mode by the time these Guardians come back. Because these Guardians are going back with 1,600 and 2,000 minerals. And they already have pretty much all the energy they need. They both have 400 already each. They have all their other spells. So what are they going to come back with? I mean, my guess would be they're going to come back with hilariously strong Broodlords. And so you're going to absolutely need siege mode when they are coming back with these hilariously strong Broodlords, so that hopefully you can focus fire the Broodlords as they spawn and hold on to the game for a little longer. Maybe you get lucky and get a kill or something.
User joined your channel.
Sorry, window. Do you need flare?
Hey, Trojax, how's it going?
We're good.
I'm not
you guys
sure.
need flare? I'm just here.
I'm not entirely sure if Windu is at keyboard at the moment. Yeah. I'm watching the Darkened Insight versus Ewoks, and it's just about over. We have Xerxes
what's the
coming out
website?
with only level 8 Broodlords. I'm actually surprised it's not a little bit higher. Oh, he got 700 energy, that's why. Singularity coming out with level 19 Broodlords, 650 energy. Yeah, I think that Xerxes could have skipped those last 2 energy and gotten much more threatening Broodlords. And Monstar does not have the minerals for siege mode, and he doesn't have siege mode, which means all these Broodlords are going to sit here and they're just going to melt everything, pretty much. Base is at 20,000 shields. Monstar is taking Scourges. Rammstein, they don't have Infest, right? Yeah, no, they definitely did not go Infestation. Mothership is down to... Mothership is now out of shield. Oh, Jedi goes down. Mothership is out of shields. Monstar is at 5,000 life out of energy and going deep. Thunder is about to die. Oh, Thunder is actually still alive. I'm surprised. Monstar is suiciding now at this point. I mean, he's dead. Monstar GG's out. Thunder is, he's taking the Gats. But he's staying up for the moment, actually. The Broodlords are being respawned. They're coming in back now. Mothership's at 20,000 life, but it doesn't matter. Everyone just died. And that's the game. So thanks for watching, everyone. This was Game 3 of the Open Tournament. Still 4 more games to go. And so Ewok still has a chance to get back in and play as well. Alright. I'm going to stop the stream.